The morning of my wedding, I found my wedding dress shredded to pieces in the bridal suite. Delicate white lace lay scattered across the floor like fallen snow, and the pearl beading I'd hand-sewn was ripped apart, each tiny bead rolling away from me like tears. I stood there in my silk robe, frozen, unable to process what I was seeing. My name is Holly, and that was just the beginning of how my sister Samantha destroyed what should have been the happiest day of my life. "Oh my God, Holly!" Layla burst through the door, her bridesmaid dress swishing around her knees. "You need to see what's happening downstairs." I followed her down the grand staircase of the venue we'd spent months choosing. The whispers hit me before I saw anything else. Guests huddled in small groups, their faces a mix of shock and pity. My mother stood in the center of the room, her hand pressed against her mouth, while my father argued with someone from the catering company. "I'm so sorry, but we received a call cancelling the entire order," the caterer was saying. "It came from the bride's number." "That's impossible," I said, stepping forward. "I never—" "Holly." Brian's voice cut through the chaos. My fiancé stood by the entrance, his best man beside him. His face was ashen. "We need to talk, now." He led me to a quiet corner, his hands trembling as he pulled out his phone. "I've been getting these messages all morning, from different numbers, and screenshots of conversations." The screen showed dozens of texts, all containing screenshots of what looked like intimate conversations between me and my ex-boyfriend. Conversations that never happened, photos that were clearly edited, but they looked real enough to plant doubt. "Tell me these aren't real," Brian whispered. "Of course they're not real. Brian, you know me." I thought I did. He stepped back, running a hand through his hair. But then Samantha showed me. My blood ran cold. "Samantha, what does my sister have to do with this?" "She came to me this morning, Holly. Said she couldn't keep quiet anymore. Showed me evidence of you, meeting him, planning to leave me after getting access to my accounts." The pieces started falling into place. The shredded dress, the cancelled catering, the perfectly timed revelation of fake messages, all orchestrated by my own sister. "Where is she?" I demanded, scanning the room. But Samantha was nowhere to be seen. "Holly," Layla appeared at my side, her phone in hand. "It's worse. Someone's posted all these accusations online. They're going viral in our social circle." The room started spinning. 200 guests, our families, friends, colleagues, all witness to this humiliation, all believing these lies. "Brian, please," I reached for his hand. "You know this isn't true. We've been together for 3 years. You know me." He pulled away, his eyes full of doubt. "I need time to think. I'm sorry, Holly, I can't do this today." I watched him walk away, his best man following close behind. The whispers grew louder. Phone cameras pointed in my direction. My mother approached, tears streaming down her face. "Why didn't you tell me you were having doubts?" she asked, her voice breaking. "Mom, this is all fake. Can't you see? Samantha did this." "Don't blame your sister," she sighed. "She's only trying to protect the family from scandal." That's when I saw her. Samantha stood at the top of the stairs, wearing a concerned expression that didn't quite reach her eyes. Our gazes met, and for a split second, her mask slipped. The corner of her mouth twitched into a smirk before she quickly covered it with her hand. "I think we should start asking guests to leave," my father announced, his voice heavy with disappointment. I stood in the middle of the chaos, watching my perfect day crumble around me. Years of planning, destroyed in hours. My relationship, shattered by carefully crafted lies. My reputation, in tatters. Layla squeezed my hand. "What do you want to do?" I took a deep breath, straightening my spine. Through the tears threatening to fall, I looked up at Samantha one more time. She thought she'd broken me. She thought this was her moment of triumph. "I want everyone out," I said, my voice stronger than I felt. "And then I want to start planning." "Planning what?" I turned to my best friend, a new resolve burning in my chest. "My comeback. Samantha thinks she's won, but she has no idea what she just started. This isn't over. Not by a long shot." 3 months after my ruined wedding, I sat across from Layla at our favorite coffee shop, spreading out business cards and brochures across the small table. "You're really serious about this wedding planning thing?" Layla stirred her latte, eyeing the materials skeptically. Most people would avoid anything wedding-related after what happened. Most people haven't had their sister destroy their wedding in spectacular fashion. I tapped one of the business cards. "Look, I already have my first client booked." "Through your mother's friend," Layla pointed out. "Are you sure you're ready?" The bell above the shop door chimed, and I instinctively ducked my head. Ever since that day, I'd developed a habit of avoiding eye contact in public places. The whispers had finally started to die down, but the humiliation still lingered. "I have to be ready," I said, straightening up. "I can't hide forever. Besides, who better to plan a wedding than someone who knows exactly how one can go wrong?" Layla's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and grimaced. "Speaking of wrong, Samantha just posted another vacation photo with Tyler. They look disgustingly happy." "Delete her from your social media," I said firmly. "I did it the day after the wedding." "Your mum keeps asking when you'll talk to her again." I gathered my papers into a neat pile. "Maybe when hell freezes over, or when she admits what she did, whichever comes first." The next morning, I stood in front of my first clients, a young couple who'd been engaged for 6 months. The bride, Jessica, clutched a wedding magazine while her fiancé, Marcus, looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. "So," I began, "tell me about your dream wedding." "Well," Jessica leaned forward, "I want something unique. Everyone does beach weddings or garden parties. I want people to remember our day." I fought back a bitter laugh. "Trust me, I know all about memorable weddings." "Oh," Jessica's eyes widened. Weren't you the one who now runs the most detail-oriented wedding planning service in the city?" I cut in smoothly. "Yes, that's me. And I can guarantee that every aspect of your wedding will be triple-checked and secured." 2 hours later, I had my first contract signed. As I walked to my car, my phone rang. It was Brian. My heart stuttered. We hadn't spoken since that day. "Hello?" My voice came out steadier than I felt. "Holly?" He sounded tired. I've been doing a lot of thinking about everything that happened." I leaned against my car, legs suddenly weak. "And? I should have trusted you, should have known better than to believe those messages. I've been looking into it, and there's evidence they were manipulated. I tried to tell you that 3 months ago." "I know." He paused. "I miss you, Holly." The words I'd dreamed of hearing for months, but instead of joy, I felt something else. Strength. "I'm sorry, Brian, but I can't go backward. You didn't trust me when it mattered most. I'm building something new now." That evening, I met with Layla at her apartment. She opened the door to find me grinning. "Okay, what happened? You look like you just won the lottery." I flopped onto her couch. "I signed my first clients and turned down Brian when he called to reconcile." "He called?" Layla sat down hard. "What did he say?" "That he should have trusted me. But you know what? In a weird way, I'm grateful for what happened. It showed me who really had my back." Layla handed me a glass of wine. "Speaking of having your back, your mom called me. Samantha's engaged to Tyler." The wine glass froze halfway to my lips. "Already?" "The wedding's in a year. Your mom wants you to be there." I set the glass down carefully. "Of course she does, because heaven forbid we don't pretend to be one big happy family. Are you going to go?" I stood up and walked to Layla's window, looking out at the city lights. Below, a wedding party spilled out of a restaurant, their laughter floating up to us. The bride's white dress glowed under the streetlights. "You know what?" I turned back to Layla. "I think I will, but not as the bitter, betrayed sister. I'm going to go as the best damn wedding planner this city has ever seen. By then, everyone will know my name for the right reasons." Layla raised her eyebrows. "That's either the healthiest or most terrifying response you could have given." I picked up my wine glass and smiled. "Why not both? To new beginnings?" "To new beginnings," Layla echoed. and to Karma being a patient friend. "Remember when Samantha cut up your favorite dress before your 8th grade dance?" Layla asked, helping me sort through old family photos. God, the pattern's been there all along. I picked up a photo of Samantha and me at that dance. Me in a hastily borrowed dress, her beaming in a designer gown. Mom always said I was being dramatic when I blamed her. "Speaking of your mom," Layla held up her phone, showing me a text. "She wants us both over for dinner tonight, says it's important." 6 hours later, we pulled up to my childhood home. Through the window, I could see my mother arranging flowers in the dining room. Her nervous habit. "We can still leave," Layla offered. "No, let's get this over with." Inside, my mother hugged me too tightly. "Holly, sweetheart, and Layla, thank you both for coming." "What's so important, Mom?" She fidgeted with her necklace. "Well, I thought we should talk about Samantha's engagement party next month. She wants you to—" "No." I cut her off. "Whatever it is, no. She wants you to be her maid of honor." The room went silent. Even the old grandfather clock seemed to hold its breath. "Are you kidding me?" I laughed, but it came out harsh. "After what she did?" "Holly, she's your sister. She feels terrible about your wedding, but—" "Feels terrible? Has she admitted what she did? Has she apologized?" Mom's face crumpled. "She says there's nothing to admit, that you're imagining things." "Classic," Layla muttered. The doorbell rang, making us all jump. Mom's eyes widened. "Oh, I should mention, Samantha and Tyler are joining us." Before I could react, I heard the front door open and Samantha's voice floating in. "Mom, sorry we're late." She appeared in the doorway, Tyler behind her. She wore an expensive-looking dress and a massive engagement ring that caught the light like a disco ball. "Holly!" She rushed forward as if to hug me. I stepped back. "Don't." Tyler shifted uncomfortably. "Maybe we should give them space." "No need," Samantha said brightly. "Holly's just being dramatic, as usual." "Dramatic?" I felt my control slipping. "Was I being dramatic when you destroyed my wedding dress? When you faked those messages?" "See," Samantha turned to our mother. "She's still making up stories. Holly, I know you were stressed about the wedding, but blaming me for your cold feet is—" "Shut up." The words came out quiet but sharp. "Just shut up." "Girls," Mom pleaded, "please. Can't we move past this? Samantha wants you in her wedding party, Holly. It's a chance to heal." "A chance to what?" I stood up. "A chance for her to humiliate me again, to finish what she started." "Holly," Tyler stepped forward. "I know things are tense, but Samantha's told me how much she misses you." I looked at him, really looked at him. He seemed genuine, kind even, just like Brian had been. "Tyler, has she told you what really happened at my wedding?" Samantha's smile flickered. "There's nothing to tell. Holly got cold feet and—" My phone buzzed. A text from Brian. "We need to talk. It's about Samantha. I have proof." I showed the message to Layla, whose eyes widened. "Well," I said, gathering my things, "this has been enlightening. Mom, I'm sorry, but I won't be in Samantha's wedding party. I won't be at her wedding at all." "You're just jealous," Samantha snapped, her perfect mask cracking. "You can't stand that I'm happy, that I'm getting married when your wedding fell apart." I turned to her slowly. "No, Samantha, I'm not jealous. I'm successful. I'm healing. And I'm done letting you gaslight me." "Holly," Tyler called as I reached the door. "Whatever happened between you two, can't you forgive her? For the family's sake." I looked back at my sister, at her expensive dress and her perfect makeup and her carefully constructed lies. Some things don't deserve forgiveness, Tyler. Some things need consequences. Outside, Layla grabbed my arm. "What did Brian say he has proof of?" I showed her the rest of the message. "Found the person who helped her fake those screenshots. They're willing to talk." "Holy shit," Layla breathed. "What are you going to do?" I watched through the window as Samantha comforted our crying mother, playing the role of the wounded, misunderstood sister perfectly. "I'm going to wait," I said. "Let her plan her perfect wedding. Let her think she's won. And then, and then, and then we'll see who's being dramatic. And that's how we saved the Anderson wedding after the venue flooded, I concluded, watching the young couple across my desk exchange impressed glances. No crisis is too big when you're prepared. My phone buzzed. Another 5-star review posted online. In 6 months, I'd become the city's go-to wedding planner for crisis management. Ironic, considering my own wedding disaster. After the clients left, Sawyer poked his head into my office. As one of the few mutual friends who'd stayed neutral during the fallout with Samantha, he'd recently started referring clients to me. "Hey, got a minute?" He closed the door behind him. "There's something you should know about Samantha's engagement." I gestured to the chair. "I'm listening." "Tyler's ex-girlfriend reached out to me, says Samantha started pursuing him while they were still together. Used some familiar tactics." My stomach dropped. "What kind of tactics?" "Fake messages, edited photos. Sound familiar?" Before I could respond, my phone rang. Brian's name flashed on the screen. "Sorry, I need to take this." I waited until Sawyer left. "Brian?" "I met with the guy," he said without preamble. "The one who helped Samantha fake those messages. He kept receipts, Holly. Everything." I gripped the edge of my desk. "Why is he coming forward now?" "Apparently, she never paid him the full amount she promised. He's bitter." A knock at my door interrupted us. Layla entered, waving an envelope. "You got your official invitation to the wedding of the year," she said sarcastically. "I'll call you back," I told Brian. Layla handed me the cream-colored envelope. Inside was an elaborate invitation with gold foil details. Classic Samantha, always having to outdo everyone. "Are you going to RSVP?" Layla asked. My phone pinged with a text from Sawyer. "Tyler's ex wants to meet, says there's more you should know." "Yes," I said, reaching for my phone. "I think I will." 2 days later, I sat across from Maria, Tyler's ex, in a quiet cafe. She looked nervous, stirring her coffee without drinking it. "I thought I was crazy," she said. "The messages seemed so real. Tyler swore he never sent them, but there they were, time-stamped and everything. Then I saw what happened at your wedding, and it clicked. Did you tell Tyler?" She shook her head. "He wouldn't believe me. Samantha had already convinced him I was unstable, jealous. Sound familiar?" My phone lit up with another text from Brian. "Meeting set with the tech guy tomorrow. You should be there." "Holly," Maria leaned forward, "there's something else. The timing of their engagement. It's not what everyone thinks." "What do you mean?" "They got engaged the week before your wedding. Samantha made Tyler keep it secret, said she didn't want to steal your thunder." I felt the blood drain from my face. She was engaged. When she destroyed my wedding, she wanted both spotlights, yours and hers, but she couldn't handle sharing the attention. Back at my office, I found Layla waiting with lunch. "You look like you've seen a ghost," she said, handing me a sandwich. "More like I've seen the truth." I filled her in on Maria's revelation. "That's sick," Layla muttered. "So what's your plan?" I pulled out Samantha's wedding invitation. "First, I'm going to RSVP yes. Then I'm meeting with Brian and this tech guy tomorrow. And then I'm going to plan the perfect wedding gift for my dear sister." My phone rang. Samantha's number. I put it on speaker. "Holly, you RSVP'd yes. Mum's going to be so happy. Wouldn't miss it for the world," I said sweetly. "I know we've had our differences, but this means so much to me. Maybe you could even help with some of the planning. You're so good at it now." I caught Layla's eye. She was making gagging motions. "Actually," I said, "I'd love to help. I've learned so much about what can go wrong at weddings, and how to prevent it." "Perfect. Let's have lunch tomorrow. Just us sisters." "Sorry, I have an important meeting tomorrow, but soon." After hanging up, Layla stared at me. "You're playing with fire." I picked up the invitation, running my finger over the embossed date. "No, I'm playing her game. And this time, I know all the rules." My phone buzzed again, a text from Maria. "Found the original messages, the ones she deleted. Still want to see them?" Yes, I typed back. Every single one. The pieces were falling into place. Samantha wanted a perfect wedding. I'd make sure she got exactly what she deserved. The tech guy, who introduced himself only as Jake, spread printouts across the coffee shop table. Brian sat beside me, his jaw clenching as he reviewed the evidence. These are the original message logs, Jake explained, pointing to timestamps. See how they don't match the screenshots Samantha distributed? That's because she used software to create fake conversations and backdate them. And you helped her do this? I asked. Jake shifted uncomfortably. She paid well. Or was supposed to. Said it was just a prank between sisters. Some prank, Brian muttered. My phone buzzed, a text from my mother. Samantha's trying on wedding dresses today. Please come. She misses you. There's more, Jake said, pulling out his laptop. The email she sent to your caterers and vendors, cancelling services. I tracked the IP addresses, all from her home computer. Can you prove it was her specifically? Brian asked. Better. I have the original emails she sent me asking how to do it. A new message popped up, this time from Maria. Found something interesting about Tyler's company. Your sister's been busy. Before I could respond, the coffee shop door chimed. I looked up to see my mother walking in. Holly, I thought that was your car outside. She spotted Brian and froze. Oh, I didn't realize. Jake quickly gathered his papers. I'll email you everything, he whispered before slipping away. Mom, I stood up. What are you doing here? Looking for you. The bridal shop is just down the street. Samantha's trying on dresses and... I'm in a meeting. I cut her off, gesturing to Brian. Mom's eyes narrowed. Are you two... No, Brian said firmly. We're dealing with something else. Something about your other daughter. What's that supposed to mean? I pulled out one of Jake's printouts. Maybe you should see this, Mom. Remember how you never believed me about Samantha? She took the paper hesitantly. I watched her face change as she read. Confusion, shock, denial, and finally, devastating realization. This can't be real, she whispered. It is. And there's more, so much more. Mum sank into a chair. Why would she do this? Because she's always been jealous, Brian said. Because she couldn't stand Holly being happy. My phone buzzed again. Maria had sent a document, financial records showing suspicious transfers from Tyler's company accounts, all traced back to Samantha. Mom, I said gently, there's something else you should know, about when Samantha really got engaged. 20 minutes later, my mother sat in stunned silence, tears rolling down her cheeks. All these years, she said finally, all the times you tried to tell me, I always defended her. You wanted to believe the best about your daughter. I have 2 daughters, she said sharply, and I failed to protect one of them. My phone lit up with a call from Sawyer. Holly, we have a problem. Samantha knows you're gathering evidence. She's trying to get ahead of the story. How? She's telling people you're having a breakdown, that you're obsessed with ruining her wedding because you're jealous. She's even talked to some of your clients. I felt the blood drain from my face. My clients? Check your business email. I pulled out my laptop, opened my inbox, and felt my stomach drop. 3 cancellations, all citing concerns about recent revelations. She's trying to destroy my business, I said numbly. Mom stood up suddenly. No, not this time. I'm going to that bridal shop right now. Mom, wait. I've waited long enough. It's time I stopped enabling her and started being a mother to both my daughters. After she left, Brian touched my hand. What are you going to do? I opened Maria's document about Tyler's company. I'm going to make sure the truth comes out. All of it. My phone buzzed one final time. A message from Samantha herself. Heard you've been asking questions, little sister. Remember what happened last time you tried to stand up to me? Back off, or your business won't be the only thing you lose. I showed the message to Brian. His face hardened. She's threatening you now? No, I said, standing up. She's making her last mistake. She thinks she can still control the narrative, but she forgot something important. What's that? I gathered the evidence. a plan forming in my mind. I plan weddings for a living now. I know how to create moments people never forget. I texted Layla, "Get ready. It's time to plan Samantha's perfect day, every last detail." Her response came instantly. Should I be scared or excited? Both, I wrote back. Definitely both. She did what? I stared at my mother across her kitchen table, coffee forgotten between us. Threw a complete tantrum at the bridal shop, Mom said, rubbing her temples. When I confronted her about the evidence, she knocked over 3 wedding dresses and accused me of always loving you more. Classic deflection, Layla muttered from her spot by the counter. Tyler was there, Mom continued. He looked confused, started asking questions about what evidence we were talking about. My phone buzzed, another client cancellation. That made 5 now. She's systematically destroying everything I've built, I said, showing Mom the email. Just like she did with my wedding. The doorbell rang. Mom went to answer it, returning with Tyler behind her. "Holly," he said, looking uncomfortable. "Can we talk?" Layla straightened. "I'll stay." "It's okay," I told her. "Give us a minute." Once we were alone, Tyler paced the kitchen. "Samantha's been crying all night, says you're trying to ruin her wedding because you're jealous. But then your mom mentioned evidence, and Maria called me." "What did Maria tell you?" "That Samantha broke us up. That she used the same tactics she allegedly used at your wedding." He ran a hand through his hair. "I don't know what to believe." I pulled out my phone, opened the folder with Jake's evidence. Believe this, 20 minutes later, Tyler sat with his head in his hands. The company accounts. I gave her access because she said she wanted to learn about finance. I trusted her. We all did. But why? Why would she do all this? Because she can't stand anyone else being happy, Mom said from the doorway. We hadn't heard her return. Because I spoiled her and excused her behavior until she became someone I don't recognize. Tyler's phone started ringing. Samantha's photo lighting up the screen. He declined the call. "The wedding's in 3 days," he said quietly. "I know. She's got everything planned perfectly. 300 guests, press coverage. She's been talking about it being the wedding of the year for months." Mom sat down heavily. "Tyler, what are you going to do?" Before he could answer, the front door burst open. Samantha stormed in, mascara streaked down her face. "You," she pointed at me. "You're poisoning everyone against me. First Mom, now Tyler." "No one's poisoning anyone," Tyler said. "We're just finally seeing the truth." "Truth?" She laughed hysterically. "The truth is, my sister's always been jealous of me. She can't stand that I'm getting the perfect wedding she couldn't have." "The wedding you made sure I couldn't have," I corrected quietly. "You have no proof." "Actually," Tyler held up his phone, "she has quite a lot of proof, including what you did with my company's money." Samantha's face went white. "I can explain." "Save it," Mom cut in. "I've spent years making excuses for you, Samantha. No more." "You're all against me." Samantha's voice rose to a shriek. "But the wedding's still happening. Everything's paid for. Everything's arranged. You can't stop it." "No one's trying to stop your wedding," I said, standing up. "In fact, I want it to happen exactly as planned." Something in my tone made her pause. "What does that mean?" "It means you're going to get the perfect wedding you deserve." "Are you threatening me?" "No, I'm promising you something. You wanted all the attention. You'll get it. You wanted a memorable day. It will be unforgettable." Tyler stood up. "I need time to think. About everything." "Tyler, please." Samantha grabbed his arm. "Don't listen to them. Remember all our plans, our future." "Our future built on lies?" He gently removed her hand. "I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe." After Tyler left, Samantha turned to me, her mask completely gone. "You think you've won? I still have the upper hand. Your business is falling apart. Your reputation—" "My reputation will recover," I interrupted. "The truth has a way of doing that. The question is, will yours?" She stormed out, slamming the door so hard the windows rattled. Mom sank into a chair. What happens now? I picked up my phone, opened my messages. Dozens of people, Jake, Maria, Brian, Sawyer, former clients Samantha had lied to, all waiting for my signal. Now, I said, we get ready for a wedding. Holly, Mum's voice was worried. What are you planning? I thought about all the years of Samantha's manipulations, all the lives she'd damaged, all the pain she'd caused. Justice, Mum. I'm planning justice. The grand ballroom buzzed with 300 of the city's elite. Samantha had spared no expense: crystal chandeliers, ice sculptures, and enough flowers to fill a greenhouse. She stood at the center of it all in her designer gown, basking in the attention. Tyler hadn't called off the wedding. Are you ready? Layla whispered, adjusting my bridesmaid's dress. Yes, I'd accepted the role, much to everyone's surprise, especially Samantha's. Everything's in place, I murmured back. Jake, she nodded toward the tech booth, ready with the video system. Maria, third row with the evidence files. Brian, by the bar with Tyler's company records. The wedding planner, not me, obviously, began herding people to their seats. Samantha caught my eye and smirked, probably thinking she'd won by having me stand here in her wedding party, diminished and defeated. The ceremony began. I watched Tyler's face as Samantha recited her vows, wondering if he could hear the insincerity in her voice. When the officiant asked if anyone objected, I stayed silent. That wasn't part of the plan. During the reception, the MC announced it was time for the speeches. Samantha had strategically placed mine last, probably expecting me to embarrass myself. I approached the microphone, champagne glass in hand. The room fell silent. For those who don't know me, I'm Holly, Samantha's sister. I smiled at the crowd. And I'm a wedding planner. Samantha's smile flickered. In fact, I specialize in crisis management, making sure nothing goes wrong on the perfect day, making sure no one can sabotage a wedding. The room shifted uncomfortably. People knew about my failed wedding, but no one ever spoke of it. Samantha taught me that skill, actually. She showed me exactly how a wedding could be destroyed. The fake messages, the cancelled vendors, the orchestrated humiliation. Holly, Samantha warned from her seat. But today isn't about my wedding. It's about truth, about consequences. I nodded to Jake. The ballroom screens lit up with evidence, time-stamped messages showing Samantha's manipulation, financial records from Tyler's company, testimonies from people she'd hurt. No. Samantha lunged for the tech booth, but Brian was faster, blocking her path. Tyler, I continued, did you know Samantha was engaged to you when she destroyed my wedding? That she delayed announcing it so she could steal both moments? Tyler stood up slowly, his face ashen. Is this true? Of course not, Samantha shrieked. She's lying. Actually, my mother's voice rang out as she stood, we have proof of everything. Maria stepped forward, holding up her phone. Including what she did to me, Tyler. The same pattern, the same manipulation. The crowd murmured. Phones came out, recording everything. You want to talk about patterns? I continued. Let's talk about childhood. Every time I achieved something, something mysterious would happen to ruin it. My 8th grade dance dress. Destroyed. My college acceptance letter. Mysteriously lost until after the deadline. Stop it, Samantha whispered, but her voice had lost its power. But your biggest mistake? I turned to face her directly. Was threatening my business, because that gave me nothing left to lose. The screens now showed her recent messages to my clients, the orchestrated campaign to destroy my reputation. You see, I addressed the crowd, my sister wanted a memorable wedding, one people would talk about forever. Congratulations, Samantha. You got your wish. Tyler stood up. The company money? How much did you take? Tyler, please. Samantha reached for him, but he stepped back. I can't. He looked around the silent room, at the evidence still playing on the screens, at his bride's crumbling facade. I can't do this. He walked out. The crowd erupted in whispers. Samantha lunged at me, but security, which I'd quietly arranged, intercepted her. You ruined everything, she screamed. No, I said calmly. You did that all by yourself. I just made sure everyone saw the truth. Our mother approached, tears streaming down her face. Samantha, how could you? Mom, don't you see? She's always been your favorite. I just wanted… To hurt people? Mom shook her head. To destroy lives. That's not what I raised you to be. The guests began filing out, phones still recording, whispers growing louder. Samantha's perfect wedding had become exactly what she'd feared, a public humiliation. Holly, Layla touched my arm. We should go. I looked at my sister one last time. She stood alone in her expensive dress, mascara running, the remnants of her carefully constructed world crumbling around her. Karma's not a punishment, Samantha, I said softly. It's a teacher. I hope you learn from this. As we left, I heard her collapse into sobs. But this time, there was no satisfaction in her tears, only a quiet sense of justice finally served. The morning sun streamed through my office windows as I reviewed the day's appointments. My phone buzzed with a text from Tyler. Meeting with the lawyers today. Thanks for helping build the case. A knock at my door made me look up. My mother stood there, holding 2 coffee cups. Thought you might need this, she said, setting one down. Big day, 3 consultations and a venue walk through. I gestured to the chair. How's the house hunting going? Found a nice condo downtown, smaller, but… She trailed off, and I knew she was thinking about the empty rooms in our family home since Samantha had left town. Have you heard from her? Mum nodded slowly. She's in therapy. Actually therapy this time, not just saying she is. Her therapist reached out, wants to arrange a supervised conversation. And? I said yes, but I told them you get to decide if and when you're ready. Another knock. Layla poked her head in. Your 9 o'clock is here. Oh, hi, Mrs. G. I'll let you work, Mum stood, then hesitated. Holly, I'm sorry I didn't believe you all those years. I was so focused on keeping the peace that I didn't see the damage being done. Mom. No, let me finish. Watching you handle everything with such grace, even during the wedding. I've never been prouder. After she left, Layla helped me prepare for the consultation. Speaking of the wedding, have you seen the industry newsletter? Your business is booming since the story got out. Turns out being known for exposing wedding sabotage is good for business. I smiled wryly. Who knew? My phone buzzed again. Brian this time. Coffee later. Need your advice about something. Before I could respond, my clients arrived, a young couple with familiar anxiety in their eyes. We heard about what happened at your sister's wedding, the bride said immediately. That's why we chose you. We need someone who can spot trouble before it happens. That's exactly what we do here, I assured them. Tell me about your vision. As they described their plans, I noticed a small package on my desk that hadn't been there before. The return address made my heart skip. It was from Samantha. After the clients left, I opened it carefully. Inside was a small box and a letter. Dear Holly, my therapist says I should write to you, but words feel inadequate. I've spent weeks trying to understand why I did what I did. The jealousy, the need to win, the constant competition. It was all my own insecurity. I couldn't stand seeing you happy because I'd never learned how to be happy myself. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I am asking for a chance to show you who I'm trying to become. Inside the box is Mom's old charm bracelet, the one we used to fight over as kids. You should have it. You were always the stronger one. Samantha. The bracelet sparkled in the morning light, each charm holding a memory from our childhood. Before the competition, before the hurt. Layla found me staring at it. You okay? I think I am. I slipped the bracelet into my drawer. Ready for the venue walkthrough? Actually, she grinned, there's someone here to see you first. Brian walked in, looking nervous but determined. Sorry to drop by unannounced. I thought we were meeting for coffee later. We were, but… He pulled out a small velvet box. I couldn't wait. My heart stopped. Brian, Before you say anything, I know we have history. I know I failed you once. But watching you handle everything with such strength and dignity, I fell in love with you all over again. This time, I know exactly who you are. He opened the box, revealing a simple but elegant ring. I don't need a big wedding, I just need you. I looked at Layla, who was filming everything on her phone, tears streaming down her face. At my mother, who had reappeared in the doorway. At the bracelet in my drawer, a reminder of how far I'd come. Yes, I said simply, but on one condition. Anything. We elope. He laughed, sliding the ring onto my finger. Deal. My phone buzzed one final time. A text from my mother to our family group chat, which still included Samantha. Family therapy session next week. Holly, no pressure, but there's a seat for you if you want it. I looked at the ring on my finger, at Brian's hopeful face, at the successful business I'd built from the ashes of betrayal. Tell them I'll be there, I typed back. Some things are worth rebuilding.